Welcome to the Divine Feminines podcast and channel. I'm your host, Steph Desar, and in today's episode, we are talking Summer Solstice, Cancer season begins, and the full moon in Capricorn, all taking place between the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd of June 2024. So before I get into what this means, what's the astrology, what's the energy update, and my channeled messages, and how you can use this information and this insight to help you navigate and make the most of this very potent magical season, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. Why? Because we're Divine Feminines on all podcast platforms as Apple, Spotify, Google, you name it. We're also on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us on Divine Feminines with a Z at the end. Why like and subscribe? Well, we've got everything for everyone. I'm covering the moon cycles, moon manifestation, moon magic, mind, body, soul topics, soul connections, twin flame journey, soul growth, and topics for if you resonate with being a starseed or just wanting to be a better person every day and develop a better self-knowledge and a better understanding of yourself. And I just share my own insight, and I also share examples and ways and approaches that I've taken in my own way, and things I've learned along the way. So hopefully there's something for all of you. And it's also about balancing your masculine and feminine energy, which is a really important one, because in this day and age, a lot of us women have not realized that we've really gone into our masculine, and so our masculine tries to protect our feminine, which makes our feminine quite distorted energy, and we're just not finding balance. And likewise, the males out here are also challenged with imbalances. So there is a lot of opportunity for us to find that inner balance, and throughout all of my episodes, I'm talking about how we can really find that inner balance, the inner peace, inner happiness, and inner fulfillment. Find it within, manifests on the outside as well. So let's talk Summer Solstice, Cancer season, full moon in Capricorn. Let's go in order. It's all kicking off from the 20th of June. So on the 20th of June, we start with Cancer season. So it's incredible because Cancer season begins. It's all about home, family, self-care, self-love, self-nurture. If you know a Cancer sun or Cancer rising, they love to take care of you. They are like the mother hens of the group, They want to nurture, feed, care, and bring a sense of peace and happiness and goodness into the dynamic of home and everyone around them. They really care and give a lot of love and support to those around them. So, and this is very much about home, as in not just the physical home, but the home within us. What does when we think of home, we have to think about home within us, and how we cultivate that feeling of home within us. Because if we don't have a sense of home within us, then we really don't have a sense of home, full stop, not just the physical home, right? And it's really important, because it doesn't matter where we are in the world, or what situation we're in, what circumstances. If we can cultivate home within us, then we have a grounded center point of what home is. So Cancer season's very much, it's summertime, and if you're in the northern hemisphere, then it's all about summertime, being out, summer holidays, and it's a great time of connecting, being with loved ones, being with those that you haven't seen for a while. You take time off work. We've got the school holidays, and just spending time with family, friends, the kids, wider extended family, going on trips with friends, taking time off work, having a break, self-care, self-nurture. So Cancer season kicks off on the 20th. The energy of Cancer can have, the sign is very much, if we think about the Cancer shell, it's almost got this like harder exterior, but this softer shell with the softer Cancer inside. Cancers, if you know them, can come across a bit like they don't show their emotions, and they can be quite guarded and almost like very private. They're the most private of the whole zodiac. I'm actually a Cancer rising and a Scorpio sun. So I think I'm extremely private. Although I'm very open and I share on my podcast, I think it's quite interesting how private I am, considering I have this kind of channel and do what I do. Cancers can also have a tendency to kind of get in their shell, pull away, have a bit of moodiness. I'm not saying that all cancers are just moody, but there's a tendency to kind of want to self-reflect, sort of self-review. So there might be a moment in this time where you're feeling like you do want to do that. And I urge you to do that. You know, pour into yourself, pour into your cup, take the rest, take the time for you. It's important. Be sure to kind of not push people out in a way that might feel polarizing though, and definitely communicate if you are taking that time out. It's just always nice, because if you kind of disappear and be a bit ghost-like and it's not in your nature to do that, then it can also feel a little bit isolating on the other side for others. If you are that type of person that does it regularly, then it might not even be a thing. And spend time at home, you know, spend time in your actual physical home. Make time for the loved ones. Make time, but make time for you. What's interesting is we then, on the 21st, 22nd of June, we go into the full moon in Capricorn. But before I get into that, the summer solstice starts on the 20th of June as well, the same day as Cancer season. I mean, it's such new beginnings. The energy is sort of very potent for this new beginning. And now it's very interesting, because you'll say, well, Steph, it's a full moon too, so how can that be, you know, a new start? But the full moon is 1 degree Capricorn, so it's like literally at the beginning. So it's like we're at the beginning of these cycles, beginning of summer solstice, you know, the peak of summer, where summer really begins. And then the full moon is almost like it is a 1 degree, you know, in Capricorn full moon, which is very much like at the beginning. So there is a powerful opportunity with these 3 events occurring to manifest, to call in, you know, things that you want. And I'll talk to the Cancer, things that you want from the Cancerian sort of area of things of home, family, but also for career, work, and ambitions from Capricorn. But finding that balance between work and life, and calling in the things that you really want, and letting go at the same time. So clearing the space for things that might have happened in the last 6 months that, you know, they're just due to just move on out. And maybe they're on their last legs, maybe they've already ended, maybe it's just thought patterns, maybe it's situations, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's a job, maybe it's friends, maybe it's just the sort of habits that you've had, or things you started to do, or things you tried out in the last 6 months. It didn't work, you want to move on, you want to change it. Whatever that looks like, this is that moment to kind of like reset. And it's a really powerful, like triple energy here, alignment. So it's a time to reset, to let go, and really get clear about what you want to call in. And I was having a conversation the other day, very recently, about, it's not really about, like, is it really about what's going to make you happy? Is it really going to be about money? Like, because we all think that we want money because, oh, we never could have enough money. That is a typical kind of, it's a typical kind of case scenario when you hear people talking, oh, I need this, I need that, but I need money to do it. But it's like, a good work-life balance, a good life balance means that you can rest, you can have a beautiful surrounding around you, you can take time for yourself, you can do things in your own way, you have freedom. And it might not be that you're making huge amounts of money, but you're making enough to be stable and to be okay and to live a good life. But you have a healthy balance in your life. You have a lifestyle that is nourishing, is not draining, it's not stressful, because, you know, stress only just leads to health issues and longer term problems. So it's like, are you going to do a job or take on a career or a business, you know, and kill yourself and drive yourself into the ground trying to make it successful, but it's not really giving you any balance, and you're just pulling from your own health strings and your heartstrings as well, and affecting other things. It could affect yourself, of course, but family and kids and those around you. So it can have detrimental impact. So think about the things that you want to clear. Think about the things you want to call in. The summer solstice, it's very magical this year, in that it's landing on summer, the beginning of Cancer season. And so It's the longest day of the year, if you didn't know already, which means you should be out celebrating. So what are you going to do for the summer solstice? Are you going to be doing something fun? Moments before the sun switches signs, it forms a square with Neptune, creating passion, confusion, and intense emotions. So just be mindful of that. However, the vibe changes for the better. And when the solstice does commence, which is around Eastern time, is like 4:51, and I think UK time it's about 11:51. It's about 9:51. With the moon in Sagittarius. So, moon being in Sagittarius, it's going to be before it hits Capricorn for the full moon, it's going to be that fun, liberal, get out there, have fun energy. So I'd recommend go, and if the weather's nice, meet up with friends, do something outdoors, celebrate, have some fun. Now I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I definitely need to make sure I'm out doing something fun, maybe dancing, that would be cool. It's always lovely energy, isn't it? Dancing, laughing, moving, always just good energy. So think about that, but yeah, just enjoy this magical time, because you can plant these intentions and you can evolve in the months ahead. So be really conscious about where you are right now and what it is that you want, and just think about the full moon being there, but all this cosmic energy, the full moon is also going to be supporting you. And if there's things that you want to bring in for, ambition-wise, business-wise, career-wise, and purpose-wise, because Capricorn is very much about your divine purpose on Earth, and while we're fortunate to be on Earth in this time, what we could be doing for our purpose. So, with that said, we move into Capricorn full moon, which is on the 21st and 22nd. So if you're in Eastern time, it's 9:07 on the 21st, or Friday, 21st of June. And if you're in the UK, it's at 2:07 a.m. on the 22nd on Saturday. And, the key things to think about is, I've already mentioned work-life balance. There is an element of love and making love at the forefront of everything that you do. And with Cancer season as well, it's that feeling of being connected to the heart, being connected to your heart. And when you're connected to your heart and you're centered in love, then you can lead with love, and love always wins, right? It's that feeling. Having gentle words and facing some facts, like being real with yourself. Like, did this work? Did this not work? Am I approaching this wrong? Should I do things differently? If I want to go here and do this, is this the right way to do it? And if this didn't work, let me let go of it. Let me stop dwelling and understand why it didn't work, and just take accountability, which is the biggest thing you could ever do. Take accountability for why something didn't work, and then take responsibility for what you will implement thereafter to make changes, right? So it's just a good time for us all, especially who work so hard, right? And we put in all that work to just take a step back. It's actually kind of crazy, because as I'm saying this, I'm like, I'm actually doing this right bang on time, because I'm taking a bit of a step back myself. So yeah, take a step back if you haven't had a chance to take any holiday right now, or you just take a bit of a break at the weekend, because this is all falling around the weekend. Just try and take it a little bit more easier. Whether you're in the northern or the southern hemisphere, whether it's like summer season or winter for you, it's a time to be able to just take stock and pull back and just go, okay, I'm resetting, right? It's time for me, it's time for me and my family, it's time for self, it's time for reflection, and it's time to just, kind of recharge my battery. And it's just such a good time for us right now, because this work-life balance reset is so simple. It's at the time of a full moon. So how you couldn't get it any better, right? Like, the sun and the moon are completely on opposite sides, and Cancer's all about the family, the home, and others. And Capricorn's all about, yourself, your own pursuit and ambitions and drive and goals and vision. And it's about also kind of understanding, have you been going more in one versus the other, and where can you find balance between the two? Because if you go so hard into the business side of things, or your purpose or your career, you can easily let the family and the home completely just be ignored, and things will fester and things will develop that are not always good things as a byproduct of not paying attention or giving the time and attention that it deserves, right? The nourishment, the focus, the presence, really. And in this case, this is the part, Cancer is the part of us that knows we need to build something, right? During our lifetime. So it's not just about like, I have this job and I have this job title, or this is like where I want to go in my career. It's not only just that, or I want to build a business. It's more than like, it's like the legacy, it's what you want to leave behind. It's about our ambitions, but it's also about our purpose here on earth and what we are trying to achieve in our lifetime here. What is our soul come to do? And it doesn't have to be anything. Let me just say this, because I feel like I need to stop to say this. When I say this, I don't want anyone to think like, oh my God, now I need to be like this healer or this star seed kind of icon, or someone that goes out into communities and does this. It doesn't have to be all of those things that you see out there. It could be that you are great at cooking, right? And this is still very incredible. You are great at cooking. You're great at creating really nice, healthy food dishes, and you can do that and share it, or create a business off the back of it, or feed those that need that nourishment and need proper meal plans. Or it could be that you're great at fitness, or you're great at giving advice around just creating more balance, or you're good at helping to volunteer, or going to family, friends' houses and just kind of being of assistance in their time of need when they're going through hard times, or that you're going to volunteer in the school, or you're going to help out the neighborhood, or you're going to help some friends with something that they're working on. Or it's a venture that you actually want to do some kind of health training, healing, fitness guidance, cooking, like whatever it is. Like it could even be like building adventure tours and taking people all over the world and giving them like a complete, full view into the cultures all around the world, teaching someone a language, spending time just having a chat with an old person, giving them some support and going shopping with them. It could be anything. So many things. I'm not listing them all, but what I'm trying to say is our purpose can be made of many things. We are here to come and share our gifts and to bring love and light and to emit that, right? And radiate that. So there's more here for you, and I don't want you to think that it has to be a set thing and I've seen people do this, so I need to do this. You just got to be true to yourself and follow what feels right. Something that you're passionate about, something that makes you feel like energetic. That's when you know, right? So I just wanted to say that. But yeah, like I said, Cancer is the contrast to Capricorn, because it's all about family. So, where we feel we belong, our childhoods as well. And there might be things that come up, at this time about our childhoods that can be triggering, but also about nurturing ourselves and nurturing others. So, this opposition between the Sun in Cancer and the full moon in Capricorn, it's a bit of a tug of war of the two signs being activated, and as it is, with many full moons, this is what happens, right? So in this case, we get a homely, family oriented Cancer energy, but it opposes that highly ambitious sort of Capricorn energy. So you might find at this moment, you really do need to take a step back and spend time with yourself and with your family, but you really want to go and do that meeting, or go and get this done and get that done. Just kind of check yourself, check yourself before you wreck yourself, literally. No, but just check yourself and just go, am I doing too much? Am I creating some balance? Am I giving time for myself? Do I need to do those meetings then? Do I need to go and do that on these days? So just think about that over these next few days and the next couple of weeks even, because that's going to be the power of what you do today impacts what happens in 3 months, in 1 month, in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year, and in 5 years. So if you're starting to try and create good balance now and you're being focused, but you're being disciplined, it will only pay dividends in the future, right? So things to think about when you're journaling, and I'm going to call on some channeled messages for you and the collective at this time, Soul Tribe. But things to think about when you're journal writing at this full moon, other than setting your intentions and doing like moon magic manifestation, I would recommend doing a release and think about, where are you neglecting yourself and the balance that you have or don't have with work life, and what is it that I need to do about it? Is it that I'm working too many hours, I don't take any time for me, I'm not exercising, or I don't spend time at home, or I don't go and visit family like enough or call them, whatever it is. Think about that and then release what you haven't been doing and set intentions of what you will do. And, where have you felt quite heavy-hearted this month? Like, is someone or something playing on your mind a lot and you feel like, that didn't really get left right and I don't feel great about that? Think about it and maybe you can make an approach of how you could make an amends. Like, first journal it and think about what it is. And if you feel comfortable enough, when the time's right, maybe you can approach them and just sort of make amends. This is a good time to connect with loved ones and also sort of put past issues behind, especially little petty ones where actually something wasn't even said, but it's just gone really quiet, or you've been busy, they've been just doing their thing, but you do sense that they might be upset, but they've not said anything. Whatever it could be, right? And, who in your life deserves more love? Like, when I think about that, I'm like, oh, I better call my brother. But then he just doesn't want to talk to me half the time because he's like, yeah, you're right, all right, bye. Funny. But even in that moment, at least he picked up the phone and he knows I care. That's just our relationship. He's not one to be on the phone. He's not one to talk for long either. And I can talk, so you can imagine how that one goes down, right? But yeah, like, who deserves more love from you? Who do you need to connect with more at this time? Make sure you sort of think about that and definitely go and action it. Like, if there's something that's holding you back from it, then that was something to also consider. Why are you feeling held back from it? So I hope that helps in terms of journaling, but be sure to put together your intentions for this time, what you want to call in for the next 6 months of the year, because before you know it, we're going to be in 2025. Soul Tribe. So this is moving way fast. So I really recommend you thinking about that. But I'm going to use the Moonology cards to get some channel messages for this full moon. And I'm already like getting a bit excited and flying everywhere. But let's see. What's the highest and best messages for the full moon in Capricorn and the Summer Solstice? Please, Spirit, for this Divine Feminine Soul Tribe. What we got? Highest and best messages. Full moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. It's interesting. So that's very interesting because this week has begun with the moon in Scorpio. And then it moved into Sagittarius, and after Sagittarius it will go into Capricorn. So it's one of those, I feel like the message here is like, when you listen to this video, you might have felt like, the beginning of the week or the last few days, I might have felt a little bit like, things were coming out of my shadow. I was kind of like having to go, no, don't want this, or whatever. It was kind of like having to deal with certain things or even deal with internal things. But it's going to pass. So breathing through the tension, do some meditation if you need to. As the moon moves into Sagittarius, you're going to be feeling that fun vibe anyway. So you're going to feel that shift. And then you're going to feel, it's going to be like from like releasing to fun to then activation and like taking charge. That's the shift through the week and into like the weekend. So it's good. It's good vibes. It really is. But it might feel a bit somber. I did sense a feeling of somberness today, actually. Not necessarily within me, but just in the air. We've got full moon in Aquarius. So we've got all these another full moon in Aquarius. Be real. And what I like about this is that's what you need to do when you're thinking about this Capricorn full moon, is like, be real with yourself. Just don't sugarcoat shit. Like, if things where you didn't manifest from the Capricorn new moon in January, the last 6 months, what is it? Let it go. Like, be real with yourself. You're not a failure if stuff didn't go right or wrong. And also be real with yourself about how you're dealing with stuff. Like, have you got the work-life balance? Are you putting in that effort to make sure things are like being attended to? Or are you kind of losing track over here and just only going over here? Like, just be real with yourself. And be real to others, not just to yourself. If you need to have a conversation with someone at this time, and just have a heart to heart, this is the time to do it. When you're ready, of course, but journal, have you time, and then as it comes. And then last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. Well, Cancer season can be quite an emotional time where, when you're doing that sort of self-love reflection, feelings come up. You need to be in your feelings almost and feel them. So it's a good time, but work through them, just acknowledge them and see what needs to be released for the full moon too. There's a nice kind of wasp or fly buzzing around and I'm like, quickly move. All right, what we got? We've got, new moon in Libra. So I love that. And we've got a new moon energy. Know you are loved. That's lovely. And this is very much this Cancer season time. If you know you're loved, you give yourself that self-love and self-nurture. And also then likewise, you can share it with others. But time for you as well. And being around those that feel like home, being around those that make you feel good. You know you're loved and you know you feel good, right? So make sure to have that confirmation in yourself. And I think you need to also experience it. It's also a mindset, but an experience thing. Now, loads of cards are coming out, but I think the main one is the one that actually flipped before the others tossed. And new moon in Aries, go for it. So we've got 2 full moons, 2 new moons, and a last quarter moon. But this go for it really makes me feel about this Capricorn full moon is, although it's a full moon, it's almost like an opportunity to have another go at the goals, the intentions, and all of the ideas that you have around career, purpose, business, ambitions, and what you want to build materially and structurally, like organizationally, but really leave on earth legacy-wise and make an impact. So you can do it, you can go for it, like don't hold back. So I hope that helps. And with that being said, I'm gonna love and leave you and try and capture the sunset before it goes down completely because this video is looking a bit dark right now. I am tan though. Anyway, thanks for listening and don't forget to tune in to future episodes of Divine Feminines. Mwah. Love, self-tribe.